Hey, welcome back. In previous video, we have seen the interface of the After Effects and also we have seen how to create the composition. So now in this video, we are going to see how to create a basic animation by using the text layer. So first we'll create a new composition. So just composition, new composition, and just we'll give the name like basic anim. And now it has been created the composition. So first, before that, I will explain about the text layer. So laterly, I will explain how to animate this. So now in order to create a text layer, we need to go to this option like horizontal type tool and vertical. There are two types of tools. So most of the time we will use this horizontal type tool and just we'll select this horizontal type tool and we need to click on here. So just we'll type. So now we have created the text. Now if you want to make any adjustment for this text like changing the color and if you want to increase the font style, we need to go to this character panel. So in case if you're not able to see this character panel, just we need to go to this windows and we need to select this character panel here. So now here you can use this option to increase the font style and make sure you need to select this text layer. So we need to drag this so we can increase the size of this font. So in order to move, as I said in the earlier, we need to use this selection tool so that we can able to move the layers from one position to another position. So just we'll scale this. And now if you want to change the colors, we can use this option. So like make sure you need to select the layer and here if whatever the color you want, you can select this. So either green or pink. So let's I will put it to like white color. And in case if you want to change the style, you can use this option here. So here in After Effects, we have like different kind of font styles here. So you can use this and select any one of this. So you can use up arrow, down arrow to see the preview of the fonts. So suppose in case if you want this one, just you can press enter. Or else if you know the name, you can type. So let's say suppose if I want any particular font, so you can type. Let's say if I want this monster red like black, so you can click on this. And now suppose if you want to convert the text into capital letters or if you want to make it small, then you can use these options here. So the remaining settings, explore yourself. It is easy. So just for time being, we'll see how to create the animation for this thing. And now if you want to create animations first, see whatever the layer you are going to take in this After Effects here, for each and every layer, you will have a common property called like transform. So like either it could be like video or image or any other shape layers, you can see this common option like transform. So in this transform, if you open this, you can see there are like 5 properties, which is like anchor point, position, scale, rotation, and opacity. So by using these options, we will make an animation in this After Effects here. And here you will have an extra property like text. So for video, you will have another property like audio or something. So according to the layer, the properties will be changed, but the transform will be most in common. So now if you want to reveal this menu, you can click on this drop down arrow. So you can click on this and you can see this thing and you can click on here. So here, these are the 5 properties in which we can make the animations. Like if you want to change the position, scale, rotation, opacity. And also first, before that, I will explain about the anchor point. So see now, whenever we create layer here, you can see there is an like anchor point. So in After Effects, what the thing is, the rotation scale depends on the positions of this anchor point here. So for example, now if you want to rotate this text, here you can see there is a tool called like rotation tool and the shortcut is W. So what the thing is now if you select this layer and if you use this rotation tool, now if I rotate, now it is rotating based on the positions of this anchor point. So in case if you want to change the positions of this anchor point, you can use this option like pan behind anchor point tool and the shortcut is Y. So if you select this and you can able to change these positions of this anchor point. So wherever you want, you can place in that position. So in case if you want to place this anchor point exactly in the center, just you need to hold control and drag so that it will snap to the center. Not only in the center, it will like snap to these corners. For example, if I left click and drag and if I hold control and drag so that see now it is snapping towards the corner. So for this example, I'm going to put this anchor point to the center. So that's fine. And now we'll go to the selection tool here and just we'll open this thing. And here, these are the properties you can see now as this is an like 2D. So we have 2 axes like X and Y. So when you come to these positions, the first value is X and the second value is Y. So if you use this X and left click and drag, so now the text will move in the X axis. And if I use this one, it will move in the Y axis. And here, same like scale, you have like X and Y. So here, this has been linked because now see, whenever you change in the X direction, it will change in the Y direction too. So both are linked. So in case if you want to scale it individually, like if you want to scale only in the width or only in the height, then you can unlink this so that we can able to scale only in the X axis and only in the Y axis here. So for timing, I will enable this. So, and here you will have an option like rotation. So if you want to rotate any angle, then you can use this option so that you can able to rotate this. And the first number is nothing but it's like a number of rotations, means like it will be useful when you're making any animations. I will show you soon that. And next there is an opacity. So if you decrease, now it is going to decrease the transparency of the layer. And if you're going to increase, now it has been increased the transparency. So opacity is used to make the title like fade in fade out type of kind of animations. And the anchor point, so most of the time we will not use the animation for this anchor point, but still if you want to change the positions of the anchor point, see now it has been changed, it is changing the positions of the anchor point. So just for time being, I will undo. And in After Effects, if you want to undo, just you need to press Ctrl Z. And if you want to redo, you can press Ctrl Shift Z. So Ctrl Z, undo, and Ctrl Shift Z, it's for redo. So for example, say suppose if I move this text, now if I Ctrl Z, it will undo. And if I Ctrl Shift Z, it will redo. Now we'll see how to create the animation. Like first we'll see how to create the position animation from one position to another position. So for each and every property, you can see there is an thing called like stopwatch. We can use this stopwatch to turn on the animations. For example, now let's say we'll see the position animation. While doing the position animation, we need to decide the initial position and the destination. Means like you have to decide from where you want to start the animation and where you want to end it. So let's say suppose if I want this text should be outside in the starting of this timeline, and laterly after like 2 or 3 seconds, I want this text to become inside here. And also we have like 40 seconds. For time being, I will decrease length of this composition. So in order to do that, just we need to select this and composition settings, and here we can decrease. So for time being, I will put it to like 5 seconds or something. Just you can put it down. And now see it has been changed to 5 seconds here. Now what the thing is, now if you want to give the animation for this text here, so let's say we'll start with the position. So first you have to decide where you want to start with. So let's say I will move this text outside. And also what the thing is, now if you want to move this text in the straight line, while moving, you need to hold the shift so that it will move in the straight line. So now we need to decide the initial and the destination. Let's say the starting of this timeline, I want the text should be outside, and laterally after 2-3 seconds, it has to come inside. So now what the thing is, we need to turn on this position animation. So in order to do that, just we need to left click here. It will turn on the animation. And also if you see in the timeline, it has been created a keyframe. So this keyframe is nothing but the current positions of the text layer here. So now what the thing is, first we need to change the positions of the time slider. And laterally we need to change the positions of the text here. So for example, see now in the starting, we have placed this timeline and we have turned on the position animation, and in that position it has been created the keyframe. And now let's say you have to decide, let's say after 1 second or 1.5 second or 2 seconds, if you want the text should become inside this composition, then you can place at the time wherever you want. And now we need to change this position here. So whenever we change the positions of this text, see here automatically it has been created one keyframe. Now this keyframes contains the information of this position here. So whenever I play this timeline, and now you can see it is animating from one position to another position. That means see like whenever we start here, it was in this position. And after changing the positions of this time slider, we have changed the positions of this text layer. So automatically it has been created the keyframe. And now it is traveling from one position to another position. Now, suppose in case if you want to increase or decrease the speed of this animation, then you can select this and just you can move this keyframe. So if you have less distance between the keyframe, the animation will be fast. And if you have more distance between the keyframe, then the animation will be slow. So it depends on your requirement, how much fast you want to animate the text here. So if you want little bit fast, then we can put this keyframe nearer so that it will play animation fastly. And also see, suppose if you come here and suppose in case if I move this text to up direction, now you can see it has been created one another keyframe in which it has been created the keyframe based on this position here. Now what the thing is, the text will animate from this position to this top, and later it will go to this bottom side. So now see it is going up and down. So for timing, I will delete this. So same for this scale. So if you want to make a scale animation, then if you turn off this position and if you want to scale animation, same like what the thing is, let's say if I turn on this scale animation and starting, I don't want to see the text. Let's say I can put it to like 0. And after some frames, you can put it to like how much you want, like 150 or something. Then it has been increased. So let's say we'll put it to like 130. Yeah, that's fine. Now it will make an animation from 0 to 130. And in the same way, if you want to make a rotation animation, so we can make a multiple property animations too. So for example, I can turn on this rotation too. And now see it has been created another keyframe. And exactly, I want this timeline to be shift to this keyframe here. So we have an shortcuts. So if you want to jump this time slider to the exact to this keyframes, we can use J and K. If you press K, it will jump towards the forward keyframes. And if you press J, it will jump towards the backward keyframes. Let's say I will create another keyframe. Let's say just I will randomly create this keyframe. So just by using this scale option, and let's say we will create another keyframe. And now we have a lot of keyframes. And now if you want this timeline should be jump from one keyframe to another keyframe, just we need to use J so that it will jump back to the previous keyframes, and K to jump back to the forward keyframes. So in this way, we can jump from one keyframe to another keyframe without moving manually to the positions of this keyframe. So just I will undo these keyframes. Now, if you want to make an 1 or 2 rotations of this text while scaling, so we will go to this keyframe here. And here, as I said, like see now this first number is nothing but it's a number of rotations. Means like see, for suppose if I put it to like 2 or something, then now from here to here it will make an 2 rotations of animation. See, now if you play, now it is making an 2 rotations of animations. So it depends on your requirements or how many rotations you want to make, then you can put those values here. So for example, if I put it to like 10 or something, 10 rotations. So for time being, I will just put it to like 1 rotation or something, just like let's say if I put it to 1, now 1 is nothing but it one complete rotation like 360 degrees. So just if I play, now it will make a rotation here. And now also if you want to make in fade out kind of animations, then we can use this opacity option. Let's say we'll turn off this, and now we will use this opacity. So let's say I will turn on this, and starting I don't want to see the text here, so I can like decrease this, and laterally I want to increase the opacity. So first we have to switch the timeline to 1 second or 3 seconds according to your requirement, and just we can put it to like 100. So now it will make a slowly fading type of animation here. And also in the position animations, for example, see now if I turn on this position animation, and let's say we'll start with this, and after like 1 second or something, let's say we'll come back to this original position. And now what the thing is, I want to hold this text for like 2 or 3 seconds, and later it has to go outside again. So in order to do that, say for example, see after 2 seconds, if I put this text outside, so what it will do is it is not going to stop the animation here. Means like say if I play, it is playing continuously. What I want is just I want to hold the text for like 2 or 3 seconds, and laterally it has to go outside. So in order to do that, we can copy this keyframe and we can paste here. For example, see now in order to copy this keyframe, just we can press Ctrl C. So select that keyframe and press Ctrl C, and you have to decide how much time you want to hold. Like let's say I want to hold up to here, and place this time slider here, and just you press Ctrl V. So what it will do is it will paste the keyframe whatever the thing you have copied here. So what the thing is, now this text will hold for some time, and laterly it will go outside. So in order to do that, just we will put the timeline here, and just we will put this outside. So now see it has been created. Now if you see, now the text is holding for sometimes because this keyframe and this keyframes both are same, and laterally it will go outside. So in this way, we can hold the text for period of time, and laterally we can just put it outside here. And now if you want to make this animation completely fast or slow, so as I said in the earlier, suppose if you want to increase the speed of these animations, then we need to put the keyframes closer. And if you want to decrease the speed of this animation, then we need to place the keyframes little bit distance here. So now what the thing is, we have like 4 keyframes. Laterally, when we do animations, we'll have like 10 keyframes or 30 keyframes. For example, see, I will create like basic and keyframes here, let's say. And now we have a lot of keyframes here. Now I want to increase or decrease the speed of these animations. So here, instead of dragging each and every keyframes to near or something, there is another shortcut. Like for example, if you want to scale these keyframes, you can select these keyframes and you can use Alt, left click and drag so that it will equally scale the keyframes. And if you Alt, left click and drag, it will increase the distance between the keyframes equally. So in this way, we can increase and decrease the speed of these animations here. So for example, see, if I press Ctrl Z, and now you see this complete animation is up to like 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds. Now, if I want to decrease up to like 2 seconds or 1.5 seconds, so no need of just dragging this key, each and every keyframe, just you need to select everything and you need to hold Alt, left click and drag so that it will equally decrease the speed. So now just it will play and it will go. And if you want to increase, just you can use Alt. So this Alt, left click and drag will work only on the end of this keyframe or starting of this keyframe. It doesn't work in the middle of the keyframe. Means like, see, if I use Alt, left click and drag, and if I use this middle of the keyframes, it will not affect. It will affect only when we use this first keyframe or the last keyframe here. And also, if you want to start the animation after 2 or 3 seconds, let's say I don't want to start this animation in the starting of this video, then if you want to start after 2 seconds or something, then we can select all the keyframes and we can move after 2 seconds. So that now the animation will start only after the 2 seconds here. So in this way, we can decide this time wherever you want to start. You can place all the keyframes over that time. Let's say if I want to start after 3 seconds, then the animation will start after the 3 seconds here. And another last thing is, suppose if I want to make another text too. Let's say after this text, I want to follow another text. Let's say if I want to create any other text like After Effects or something. So line by line, if you want to play this, simple, already we have done this animation. Just we need to duplicate this layer. So in order to duplicate this layer, just we need to press Ctrl D. So if you press Ctrl D, now it has been created another copy of this layer here. So now we have to change this text here. So in order to change this text, we need to double click here so that we can able to change the text. So let's say we'll type After Effects. And now see, both the text are playing at the same time because both the keyframes are in the same position here. If you see here, both the keyframes are in the same position. Now what the thing is, just we need to delay this thing. Means like, see, you can select this layer and you can drag this laterally. Means like, see, first we need to decide wherever it is going. See, now the first text is going outside at this like 1 second or something. Now After Effects, we can place until here. So now what it will do is, after this text, again it will play another text. So by using this technique, we can create the text animation line by line. So if you want another text, we can just duplicate this. Let's say we'll call it as like Premiere Pro. And now what the thing is, just we need to drag this. And let's say after this After Effects, and now we will play this layer here. So line by line, it will play an animation here. So this is the basics of this animation here. So we will see a little bit more options like how to add a motion blur, how to add different kind of animations, and how to make an interpolations in the animations. I will explain in the next video. So see you there.